And I'm still moving up. That's the money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Stage nation been going up. Volume isn't my middle name. Still see me in that order book. Need to learn to trade the patience, and maybe then you'll start to cook. But still, I swear I'm always chasing. I'm dumb as fuck, but don't blow it up. Jupiter, blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Stage nation been going up. Volume isn't my middle name. Still see me in that order book. Need to learn to trade the patience, and maybe then you'll start to cook. But still, I swear I'm always chasing. I'm dumb as fuck, but don't blow it up. Jupiter, blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Stage nation been going up. Volume isn't my middle name. Still see me in that order book. Need to learn to trade the patience, and maybe then you'll start to cook. But still, I swear I'm always chasing. I'm dumb as fuck, but don't blow it up. Jupiter, blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Stage nation been going up. Volume isn't my middle name. Still see me in that order book. Need to learn to trade the patience, and maybe then you'll start to cook. But still, I swear I'm always chasing. I'm dumb as fuck, but don't blow it up. Jupiter, blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved.
Hello, everybody, and greetings. Welcome to this planetary call for Jupiter. Let us know in the chat. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube. Shout out to Bangers, who's getting a banger comment here. Is Bangers in the chat somewhere? Let us know where you're calling in from. I want to see what new countries we have. J to the mofo M says quality crypto. That's exactly right. What's going on? Dennis, I see you, Enoch, and everybody else who's out here. Don't rate limit me today. People are trying to make sure they can jam those J for J's into the chat. We're going to get started here in just a minute or two as we wait for the cat man himself, Meow. He's got blank slides and is not yet on the call. It's going to be a fun one, folks. Get ready for it. As we do, we want to normalize boring calls. Shout out to Soju yesterday for trying to do a call that I don't think was very boring, but this one definitely will not be boring. I can assure you of that. Soju just got up and walked away from the screen when I made that little joke, by the way, as you can see right here. There he is. And now he's back. Okay. He did not like that one. Anyway, we are going to get ready for the new J for J proposal. This is obviously the big thing on the agenda today, is talking through where the supply reduction might be coming from, some of the thinking behind it. That vote is going to be happening tomorrow, folks. So we're going to cover all that today, and we're getting ready to do an experiment. It's always a bit of an experiment every time we do this. So with that said, let's enter this little wormhole and let's go. Somebody said this is so boring in the chat, hurting my feelings immediately. But anyway, hello. Welcome to this Planetary call. It is July 31st, 2024. We're going to start this off by saying hi to our guy. Meow. There he is. There he is. What's going on, brother? You made it. You almost missed it.
How's it going?
It's going very well. It's going very well. I don't know who's touching stuff over here. All right. Anyway, now that Meow's here, we can officially play the warm-up anthem to get everybody in the right state of mind for what we're about to go into. So hard. Most important J proposal in a minute, but fuck it, we're gonna wing it and do it live. For anyone who does not know, my name is Cash Donda. I am the lead over at the Uplink working group, which produces this call. I'm the Sherpa over at Super Team, and I am the host of the Solana ecosystem call, which is happening tomorrow. So if folks are into Solana, 4 p.m. UTC, please do come out to that. You can find it on my Twitter. And I am joined by, of course, the man, the myth, the cat, the myth, the legend.
Guys, I'm telling you, man, today I'm gonna wing everything so fucking hard. Like I literally finished my essay and stuff just 1 minute ago. Okay, 1 minute. I went to the restroom and back here. Okay, and then
put on a shirt. I see.
I'm gonna do the slides for the token reduction thing. I haven't done it yet. All right, so I'm just gonna wing every fucking thing. I'm just gonna be clear. I'm gonna come with a proposal tomorrow. Okay.
Fuck it, we're gonna learn live, folks. That is the energy that I know you all are here for. And hola to my guy Diego.
Yes, I did. Just kidding.
Wilson is asking, did you wash your hands? You did. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Listen, folks, in case you are new here, this is the Michael Jordan of the Planetary calls, number 23 over here, where we have some big things to cover. But before we do, just make sure we all know what we're doing here. We are here to celebrate the people, the products, the partners that make the Jupiverse great. We are not here to talk about token price, but what you will get by the end of this call is some insight into what the team is actually cooking up behind the scenes, into what the DAO has going on, all about the next proposal, and an ecosystem legend as well. It's going to be a banger of a call. Here's the agenda. We got wins of the week. Then we're going to talk about the product update for Spot, which I personally am very excited about. I think Spot is sick. We got the homie YY here to take us through that. Then the Riz Lord, the Lady Killer, the fan favorite, the JUP transparency audit is going to come through with Soju, who will give a quick recap of what happened there. We know it's all about CAT, certainty, alignment, transparency. This is delivering on that transparency. And then we're going to go flying with Meow, who's just going to wing it through the J for J proposal. The essay, I think, is like 5 or 6 pages. We'll cover as much of that as we can before we talk to the man, the myth, the legend. I've now said that twice, but we got 2 legends on this call right now. We got Ansem, arguably the main character on all of crypto Twitter. We'll talk to him all about meme coins, about community building, about PvP.
I met Ansem. I met Ansem in New York a couple weeks ago and stuff, and it was awesome meeting him. So I'm like, hey, dude, you gotta get on, man. And then he was kind enough to just hop in. And I'm actually looking forward to the conversation, man. It's like there's so much shit going on recently about some dogs and cats. Right.
Let me just say. Let me shout out to Kells, formerly Masari, now just chilling as a great analyst who hooked up this whole thing up with Ansem. And let me just say, Ansem is great. I don't understand all this fucking FUD. It's bananas. You'll get to hear from him yourself in just a little bit as we go through it. And then at the very end of the call, we will have the closing POAP. There are legions of fans now for these goddamn POAPs. They were meant to just be like a fun little thing, and they sprouted their own kind of sub-community, its own Twitter page, its own trading thing on Tensor. We'll get that at the very end of the call, folks. So stick around with this. I'm going to go ahead and guess, just conservatively, this is going to go over an hour. So buckle up. We got a lot to cover over here. Okay. Let's start off with wins of the week. And we'll fly through this because, again, there's some very important things that we need to cover around the future of Jupiter coming through. But let's go into the wins of the week. Antimatter said POAPs are big. Yes. All right. First win of the week, Jupuary. The gift that keeps on giving has finally concluded. I believe it is literally over right now, if I'm not mistaken. Of the 1 billion tokens that were given out in January in a retroactive airdrop to all Jupiter users, that claim window has officially closed as of right now. Pretty good claim rate here, actually. 970 million out of the total 1 billion tokens have been claimed. So shout out to everybody that got some JUP. I know I got some JUP. Give me a little W in the chat if you got some JUP as well.
Bro, you know what's crazy? That's what? 1 fucking billion of value, bro.
$1 billion just given out basically without warning. No, hey, there was no points farming. There was no like weeks and weeks of lead up and all this other kind of stuff. Just given out to real users, making it happen. I got to say, I remember where I was. If you do as well, drop a little W in the chat. This was a big deal. And a big part of this, by the way, no cats left behind. It's still one of my favorite stories of community. May and the rest of the team, hundreds of hours to make sure that even if you had a compromised wallet, you still received your Jupuary airdrop. That is pretty fucking great to me. Okay, so there is, of course, 30 million tokens left over. Stay tuned. We're going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do with those tokens as well. The next one here, the first ever JUP community audit happened yesterday. So shout out to DGen Mom and to Soju, who made me and Meow just look like poor imitations of them. I like that Soju's kind of becoming the live streamer in chief right now. He's coming for my DAO position clearly. But it was, I believe, DeFi or possibly all of crypto's first community audit for the token distribution. This is a big deal and pretty wild that within Jupiter, you can see where every single token has gone from the Jupiter Genesis wallet. This is the beauty of doing things on chain with a team that's committed to transparency. There's a full post over in the JUP Research Forum for anyone that wants to get deeper into that. I'm sure we'll talk more about that, excuse me, in the later parts of this call. On the product side, another big win here. Welcome.jup.ag just got a facelift. A bunch of new updates, new walkthrough video. Shout out to Seb Monty from the Uplink working group right there. There's more on-ramp options, so it's easier to get onto Solana than ever before. And there's a new Explore JUP section that allows you to stay up to date with everything that's going on across the Jupiverse. Onboard a friend to Solana today. It started off as a bit of a beta product, but every time, as usual, it's getting better and better, step by step, iteration by iteration. Thanks to your feedback. Big shout out to Shane and the gang for putting this one forward. Welcome.jup to Solana. Welcome.jup.ag is the single best way to onboard people to Solana. That is just a fact, folks. Welcome.jup.ag, says Dr. Prevolid. Shout out to Dr. Prevolid.
You're laughing yourself, you know. It's sad.
I'm laughing at his song, dude. I still say that to my own, like I sing that to myself randomly.
It's sad, bro. That's more sad. You're sad, yeah.
Let's go. On the product side, another win. Ape continues to get better. It's still a bit of an alpha product, but every day, DeFi Racer, Josh T, and YKit are making it better. So now there's a few new features ready to make your aping smoother and safer and faster. View your per token profit and loss in your vault, which is pretty great, or pretty demoralizing, depending on how your skills are as a meme coin trader. I am mostly down, so this feature is a bummer for me. But on the bright side, I can filter tokens by the mint and freeze authority so that I don't get rugged anymore, which is pretty cool. The tokens that could rug me don't even show up, which is pretty great. And then finally, you can burn and close token accounts in your vault to get some of that soul back. So if you're doing a lot of meme coin trading in particular, you might have tens or hundreds of dollars that you'll be able to reclaim all by using Ape. Ape.jup.ag and at Ape Jupiter on Twitter to go follow them.
I love how my image for Ape, is like no one in the team uses it, but everyone uses it in marketing. It's fantastic now. It's so funny.
I apologize to everyone internally on the team, but this is too good. Ape brand condoms is too funny. Ape safely, folks. That is the motto. And speaking of doing things safely, Jupiter Spot is now live. Spot is, I think, the interface that a lot of people were waiting for a while. It unifies all the kind of Jupiter products into one single and smooth AI, right? So you can now swap, of course, the Jupiter kind of bread and butter, but you can also set up DCAs, value averages, limit orders, and see the price chart all in one place. It is the best place to look at your viewing or your trading history right there as well. Everything that you would need to trade spot effectively is now live on jup.ag. If you have used this in the chat, can you drop a little W for me? And let me know what you think of Jupiter Spot. It is officially live. I see Joe Takayama likes it, and I like Joe. So that's a good endorsement right there. Big shout out to YY and the gang. What's going on? We got to get you on Joe's podcast, meow. I know we haven't done that yet. But I see W's flooding in the chat. Wow, too many to actually froze StreamYard for a second. We're gonna have YY talk more about this in depth in just a little bit. But before we do, last few wins. First one, in integration. One Intro's One Dex is now integrated in routing. The idea of Jupiter routing, of course, giant universal market. Every asset connects to every other asset to create critical markets of liquidity all across Solana. That means having every DEX out there. And now One Intro's One Dex, which is used oftentimes to launch new tokens, is integrated. Shout out to the One Intro team. And Dumpy is live in beta. This is meow. This name, Rooter, I think, has given you a run for your money on the naming side. This is hilarious. Hilarious branding here. Dumpy, if anyone doesn't know, produced by formerly Solend, now called Save, is a way to actually short meme coins. It's live in beta, but all trades on Dumpy are powered by Jupiter, which is pretty great. So just look at this. This is too good. Live at dumpy.fun. Love it. All right. I think that is about it on the win side. Anything else we missed, meow?
Nah. All good. Let's go.
Nah. Yeah, let's go. All right. So next up, you're thinking about your section. I can tell. I can see the gears turning in your own head right now.
I spent so much time on it. Let's go.
Well, first, before we go to the proposal, let's get some product updates from the aforementioned spot side of things. I'm going to bring up YY, a newer member on the Jupiter team. He's been there for a few months. He is a Giga Chat. He helped work on ASR, Spot, and a lot of nice things. He is one of the Jupiter janitors in the Telegram group. Please drop a little JM in the chat for YY. YY, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Super excited to be back on the Planetary call and sharing new product updates with everyone else. Yeah. So the last time, I think, when I was on the Planetary call, we brought value average over to jup.ag. And at the same time, we announced a new product called Ape, which Cash you mentioned we've greatly improved. So in the past few months, we've experimented and shipped many features and many products. And I think before we continue pushing the boundaries, building more products, we're going to take a step back and evaluate on one of our core principles at Jupiter, which is building the easiest and smoothest user experience. I think this is very, very important to Jupiter. And we want to make sure that as we build more products, the user experience, the UX itself across all and each product must be smoother, must become much more streamlined than it is right now. So, we all have the classic products that everyone loves and use. Swap, limit order, DCA, VA. They all feel like, individual unique products. Well, they technically are, but I think what we have done is we want to take all of these products, all of these classic products, and unify them So it becomes a super streamlined and smooth user experience. And this is Jupiter Spot. We're actually deploying right now. So you have to go to Edge to showcase.
Oh, it's still on
Yeah,
Edge.
like actually deploying right now. So maybe in like 5 to 10 minutes, it'll be live on Jupiter, Jup.ag.
But so that people can get a sense of it,
Yeah.
this will be live in a few minutes, folks. A little bit of patience here,
So
as will hopefully YY's video. It is in black and white, but we can see. You want to just walk through the interface a little bit here and what gets you excited, YY?
Yeah, Cash, can you zoom in a bit?
Yes, I
Can
can.
zoom in more? Yeah.
There we go. How's that?
Okay, that looks better. So in the past, you have like the products at the top line, at the top line itself, but every product now is sort of under this new spot tab, which is along the nav bar itself, the navigation bar, together with POAPs and APE. So you have these three major products right now. And in spot itself, you can toggle between the different products, swap, limit order, DCA seamlessly across each. And some of the features and improvements you have made so far is, Cash is showing you right now for the swap itself, you can actually use the chart with swap. Or if you are, the classic, you like the classic compact swap mode, you can also toggle them off easily with that button right there. Yep. And we also make some big upgrades to the speed of our swap history API. So if let's say right now you click swap and the transaction processes, the history itself immediately shows up right below the chart itself. So you don't have to go to the, in the past you have to go to the wallet button, click on the wallet, and then the modal pops up, and then you have to look at the history. Right now it's together with the chart, the swap form, and the history itself. So everything in one UI, and you can toggle between the other products as well. So it's super streamlined and super fast now. So this is the start of unifying all the classic products, but also it's just the beginning for Jupiter Spot. We have like a few things that we are still working on to make the experience faster and snappier. And I was about to say Jupiter Spot is now live on jup.ag, but it will be in a few more minutes or 5 to 10 minutes, give or take. Yeah, so go try it out. Let us know how it feels. Let us know every single feedback, and happy trading.
Fantastic. Meow, anything you want to say on this side?
No, so I think the main thing is that the first thing I'll say is that maybe stop jumping around so much. Because I can't
I'm trying to
see
go back to the thing. That's the I'm trying to go back to the deck is the problem.
But the main thing now, right? Is I think the main thing we do now is that it's like now we have several products, right? I think so. It's really kind of consolidating the key thing under so there's spot, there's the ape, and then there's spot, there's ape, and there's purpose, right? Right. So I think this is actually a really big deal for us because like in the past we had. In the past, like, it felt like swap and limit order and DC and VA are different products, right? Right? But actually, honestly speaking, they actually are extremely similar, right? Because they all belong to kind of like the idea of like buying a spot product, right? Just different ways buying a spot product. You think the different almost like different conditions. Swap is triggered immediately, L is triggered based on price, DAC is triggered based on time, and VA is triggered the amount based on kind of the thing. So it's all the same way of purchasing a certain pair, Yeah. So that's actually why we package all of them under spot. Yeah, and then we go from there. Yep.
Pretty great stuff here. This is a very smooth experience. I think the chat is digging it as well as I am. Let me pull up my slides again. There we go. Excellent. So a lot of things coming. It is now live in the next, hopefully 90-second. Say Cash, let's see. This is a banger alert over here on Spot. I love using Jup. It just got a little bit easier to use. What's not to love there? It's pretty great. YY, anything else to say to the people at home?
Go try it and more feedback.
Go try it and more feedback. There it is. Shout out to YY. I know a bunch of people in the chat have come across you in the support community, across Discord and everybody else. That's what we love to see. Spot on. Says Block Baller. That's pretty great. Cool. YY, thank you very much for coming on. Please do find a working camera and we'll have you back on the Planetary call very soon. See you later, brother. All right, let me take him off here. And we'll now move on to talk a little bit more about Jup. And to do so, let me bring up the hardest working cat, the confirmed Riz Lord. Please drop a little lady killer in the chat for the homie Soju. Soju. JM, brother.
Is my camera working? Just to be sure.
Your camera is working.
Hello, everybody. Yeah.
Cool. So, Soju, just yesterday, you did a big transparency audit for like an hour or so. I know we don't have time to go through every last detail here, but can you take us through the high level on what you guys covered?
JM. So last night we did like the first community ever like transparency audit. So what happened was that me and DJ Mom basically like went through all the transactions since the point of mint. It took us 45 minutes. It had a lot of numbers. It was very boring, as it should be. But it was I think like me and Mel and DJ Mom was like we got quite happy sort of pushing this forward, sort of pushing this matter of like how transparent things are on chain. I mean, there's no reason why company like DeFi projects or DeFi tokens should not be as like scrutinized as a publicly listed company. So we want to push that forward. And I think we're gonna do this more. I think the next one we're gonna do it like maybe 6 months from now. And like then we have enough stuff to go through. And hopefully we'll get better at like going through all these complex like transactions to the entire community and people can like keep up with us more. But anyways, like there's an entire recording of this audit available on YouTube. You can also read the forum posts that's live on Jup Research, and there's also a TLDR on Jupiter Exchange. But for now, I'll just quickly go through the high level stuff. So, of course, as it's an audit, the biggest thing is that like you on the Jup Research forum post, you can see clearly how much tokens are remaining in the multi-sigs and what exactly each of these tokens are meant to be used for. There are also like links to the on-chain wallets where you can go and actually open on-chain and see the exact same number of Jup on-chain. And you can see that it match. There's an exception of 1.5 million, 1.5, no million, just 1.5 Jup more on-chain because some anonymous donator asked 1.5 million Jup into more on the multi-sig. Whoever you are, thank you so much. But if you see a 1.5 Jup discrepancy, that's the reason. But yeah.
So if anyone wants to give you a headache, they should just send Jup to the team multisig. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, send more.
Yeah.
More than 1.5. But yeah, so I think the second biggest thing that we wanted to talk about is the launch pool. So as part of the LFG launch for Jup in January, we launched by putting 250 million Jup into like a liquidity position. And based on the price of the pool, you sort of have like some Jup and some USDC in it. So when we withdraw the tokens out of the pool, there was a roughly like 111 million Jup that was not sold. And this is because the price of Jup at the point was not beyond the maximum price of the pool. So you can in the report you can see that 111 million Jup, where they are and what is marked for. And this 111 million Jup figure came from two withdrawals, one 7 days in and one 14 days in. Yeah. And thirdly, the most important thing I think is the community airdrop. So we first came out as like, okay, let's airdrop 1 billion tokens to the entire community. We then withheld 33 million or so tokens because people were saying that there was a compromise and we didn't want to let these tokens get into the hands of like people who got exploited. So out of this 33 million, we only ended up distributing about 4 million of it in subsequent follow-up like compromised wallet airdrops. And out of the 970 million that we did distribute, there are some leftovers that, because it expired a few like minutes ago, there's some leftovers there. In the compromised wallet airdrop, there's also some leftovers because we sort of like matched the expiry time of both the airdrops. And what the team is going to do is that we're going to go and claw back these tokens from the trees, which is basically the unclaimed tokens. We're going to combine with the excess 30 million or so Jup that was not distributed. And then we're gonna like update the transparency audit post with like how much tokens we actually got, and from there what you do with it. I think Mel suggested doing another governance vote on what to do with it, but we will announce these details to the community soon. But I'm expecting there to be roughly 30 million or so tokens, 32 million or so I think. But we'll announce more when we actually complete the withdrawal process. Yeah. But yeah. So these are the three biggest things about the transparency audit. And what do I think?
I think it's kind of wild, honestly, to have this level of transparency and honestly to give a shit enough to do the work, to make the spreadsheets, to like take it to the community, to go public, both on like the team's part here, Soju on your part and DJ and Mom's part, but also the community actually like paying attention and wanting to know this is like what good governance actually looks like. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we're quite happy with the positive reception. So looking forward to doing this all over again and soldiering through the pain in 6 months' time.
I can't believe it's so accurate that it's just 1.5 Jup that is thrown off the bat. That's the most impressive part.
I was like, why is it different? Why is it different, DJ Mom? And then we went to dig through. It's like, why is there a 1.5 Jup cent? Like, not damn it. It was so close.
I don't know what that is, like 0.00001% off or something like that, but it's still pretty good. Hector says transparency to the W. Meow, what do you think of the transparency audit here?
No, I think the reason why we want to do the transparency audit, right, is that we think that there's actually a point of mint. Okay, meaning that, for example, right, is that if you don't actually track your tokens at the point of mint, right, you can't know where it goes. It's actually extremely difficult to claim any kind of accountability, right? So I feel like and even though we actually, even for us, right, even though we actually spent a lot of time and effort trying to make everything as tight as possible, it was still actually really hard for us to reconcile it, right? So I think if you weren't actually as thorough as us and you do it regularly and stuff, I think it's actually it's practically impossible to actually do it moving forward. Yeah. So anyway, I think for us, I think what's actually really important here is to kind of like number one, do on accounting. Because one of the things that's actually very important for us, right, is that we do actually treat JUP as like we do actually treat JUP as like an extremely valuable resource, right? That we actually take care of. So I think basically I think if we don't take care of JUP, then why should we ask other people to take care of JUP? Right, so that's actually a very important thing for us. We actually really want to make sure that every single JUP we distribute is actually extremely well taken care of. Yeah, so that's actually an extremely important part for us. Yeah, and that's how we do it. Yeah,
makes sense. Important work and good work. So shout out to the Lady Killer. You got anything else to say to the community here, Soju, before you jump? You are inaudible.
My bad. Yeah, I think we have a lot of critical votes coming up that are very related to how we use JUP as a sacred resource to drive forward the meta. So we wanted to do this audit, and now we hope that the community and the team is all on the same page on exactly how much JUP there are, exactly what are they used for, and then only like this can we have a very good discussion about how we can do Jupuary ASR supply reduction over the next few weeks. So we are very hyped for when all of that begins.
Strong foundations and a perfect segue. Thank you very much, Soju, for coming out as always. We'll catch you very soon. The Lady Killer in the chat. People love it. All right. Well, with that said, let's move on over here to hear from Meow. Confirmed feline, confirmed serial experimenter on JUP, Cat, and PPP. Did he make the slides? You did kind of make a slide. Nice. All right. Look at this. Take it away, brother.
Can you go up?
Nope. This one here?
Can you? No, yeah. Okay, cool, awesome. So I think I think what I'll do now is I think I would go through the essay on the JUP Cat PPP, right? I think I'll just spend 10 minutes going through it, 5 minutes going through it, right? Right. Can you just put it up?
Yep. Let me grab the link here and cool. So this just got posted to Twitter not too long ago. So people who are interested can read the whole thing down on here, but we'll go through it right now. Let me zoom in enough.
So I think so the point of essay, right, is to kind of put together all the key things that we have done over the last few months, last 6 or 7 months, to really kind of preserve the integrity of JUP. Because again, I think one thing that I think is actually really important here, right, is that what's actually really important here in any token project, right, is the integrated token. Because if the stakeholders do not have the confidence, right, that the token is being well managed and distributed, it's kind of trying to the foundation becomes extremely weak, right? It's almost like trying to build a skyscraper on a giant pile of tofu, right? It kind of doesn't matter how good a skyscraper is, if the foundation is weak, it doesn't work, right? So I think that's actually one that's actually really important here, right? And similarly, right, as a user, right, if you're worried about being Instagramon, you're not going to focus on the roadmap, right? So for example, for Jupiter, right, we have this just a really big roadmap of building the GAM, the giant everything exchange, right, and investing in meta, but it actually wouldn't work. All those things actually wouldn't work if the community is actually constantly kind of arguing and fighting about and worried about token allocations and distribution, getting dumped on everything. So I think one thing that we're doing here is that we're really trying to set in a very strong foundation for thinking about how do we kind of really give the users 3 things, right? Number one, I think it's we call it CAT, right? CAT, right? Number one, I think the first thing is to give the community a lot of certainty right? That certainty over certainty to others. The second thing is to give the community a large number of alignment, right, between key stakeholders, right? Meaning that all the stakeholders, whether it's the team, the users, the community members, they're all aligned, right? Towards are working go together. And third thing is teach transparency on token distribution. I think, and so it's actually kind of like my observation, right? That if you don't have any of these three things, all of these three things, then what happens is that the community breaks down really fast, right? And hey, bro, what's actually really interesting here, right? It doesn't matter whether you are a top 100 coin, right? Or you are a meme coin, right? It's like if you scroll on the top 100 list, right? You can see many projects that are full of shit. There's actually absolutely zero trust, in the community, right? It's, right? And whereas you see the meme coin communities, some of them are very, very small, but there's a lot of trust, right? So I feel like for us, we are really, really focused on the whole trusting. Because again, we have these long-term goals, right? And then if our community and ecosystem do not actually, if we don't actually have a very cohesive community, then it becomes impossible to actually kind of work and go together. Yeah. We call it CAT, right? So I think over here and in my essay, right, I kind of outline a lot of things that we did, right? Actually, particularly at the Genesis. So one thing that people don't really notice is that ever since Genesis, the moment Genesis, right? JUP Genesis, we did a lot of stuff, right? To kind of install a lot of certainty about where token, to give a lot of certainty to token holders, right? To make sure there was a high level alignment between all the stakeholders, whether it's the users or the community members or team, or even the mercurial stakeholders, right? And also lastly is to really make sure that everything was transparent as well. So I think here are things that we did, right? For example, I think we probably did what I consider to be the most thorough token minting ritual, right? And then secondly, the core wallets are actually majority owned by the ecosystem leaders. So the team actually can't actually take it out without actually having any public information at the start. And thirdly is that we have a very, very simple, elegant activity tokenomics to kind of reflect the key alignment point of between the community and the team. And obviously, we also did a really big and inclusive airdrop, to close to 1 million wallets who use Jupiter pre-announcement, right? And that actually the powerful thing that actually gave us and the really powerful thing is that actually gave us a really big base of users, right? Our members, right? Who was already familiar with Jupiter. And obviously we also did a lot of work, right? To make sure that all the stakeholders that were part of the Jupiter journey, and it is huge, by the way. We spent a lot of time to make sure that everyone who was part of the Jupiter journey, right, was actually as well, And then and thirdly, obviously we have an extremely transparent single launch pool, only one launch pool, no side deals, no OTC, And then and obviously we actually kept the vast majority of whatever USDC was in there, for an incrementally over only 3 months. So that actually gave the whole ecosystem a lot of confidence that we were actually in it for the long run and not just for the launch.
Not just give me all that USDC and then running away.
Yeah, for sure, right? And anyway, so I think obviously we meticulously documented and explained everything live. So I think what's actually very important here is that I think if we didn't do all these things, right, I don't think we have the community today. And I think the community the community and the foundation and the trust that we have today is actually a result of these things that we did.
I think so too. I mean, you see it in so much. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go on. Sorry.
I said you see it in the chat over here where so many people came through Jupuary. They were kind of vaguely aware of Jupiter. They'd used it once or twice, but then seeing the way the airdrop was kind of executed, seeing what the team was saying at the time, I kind of got them bought in and excited about the future of the JUP journey. So we hear these stories every time there's a cadets corner.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, right? That I feel like at Jupiter, right, the thing is at Jupiter, we don't actually do things for short-term pumps. We do things for short-term pumps. We don't do things for token price. We don't do things for we also don't do things for just short-term gains. What we do is we really try to kind of do the things that we think will actually kind of anchor a lot of foundations, for the community moving forward. Yeah. So that's what I do. Yep. Yep.
So that was kind of at the beginning. How about in ongoing operations? Yeah.
So then ongoing operations, right? Obviously, I think the one thing that I'm actually really, really happy with, right, is actually a 50-50 thing. right? Obviously I created this really cat here about 50% team, 50% you, which is like the idea that which is the idea that like 50% of the tokens will be managed by team, and 50% of tokens will be allocated to the community, right? And so I feel like one thing that's actually really worked out really well, right, over the last 6 months, have actually been that, okay, I think the team actually been working on a lot of things, to push the product forward and to push like key initiatives forward, right? And at some time, I think we are seeing this extremely, and it's not, honestly, we have actually formed the world's like largest emerging DAO. I mean, that kind of like go over the radar, but it's just true, right? Think about it. We have formed the world's like largest and most active DAO, right? And it's actually extremely vibrant and extremely energetic. And as a result of that energy, we are kind of able to kind of move on to actually be able to like take on really big responsibilities. Like for example, the token reduction vote, right? Which the team will and secondly is the Jupuary and ASR. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was the 50-50 side. How about community eats first as a key principle here?
Yeah. So anyway, I think the second initiative that we have, right, is what I call the community eat first. Right. So basically, the key idea is that again the whole CAT thing, right? It's like like certainty, alignment, transparency, right? So for community first, it's our effort to kind of give the community, right, a lot of certainty. That number one, there'll be no surprise shock ever, right? And no lingering harm from team allocations, and also the team will actually be fully committed to executing all the proposed plan. So as a quick recap, right, the team will be taking 100% of the first year cliff, and then me and Xiong will be committing to locking all token invested until June 2026, which is like 2 years away, and well past the 2 intangible limits, right? And not just us, most of the team members have also committed to kind of locking a lot of the tokens and liquidating only what they need for their own personal financial security. And of course, the team, I talked to everyone on the team. The team is actually all volunteering to actually cut if the 30% vote passes, we also cut the we'll also be cutting the our allocation as well, right? So it's actually the main thing we want to do here, right, is to really communicate that like no matter what happens, stuff, right, our interests are 100% aligned with the team. And sometimes we call it that's how we call it, like community it first and chef it last. Yeah.
I'm laughing because it's still so crazy. Like this is the strongest like pro alignment move I've ever seen in crypto. Voluntarily, you and Xiong as co-founders continuing to lock all your tokens, investing for another 2 years. It's pretty wild stuff. That shows kind of like
and honestly, probably gonna a lot longer, right? But then the core idea here is just simple. It's like we want to actually make sure we actually want to make sure that with the thing is just simple. We want to actually me and Xiong and the rest of the team wants to actually make sure, right, that our core incentives are very, very strongly aligned to community incentives, right? And then
does not get any stronger, honestly. There's no world in which people will make any money on JUP, or you make money on JUP and people don't at this rate, because you don't have any JUP to make money on.
Put it straight, right? I think also for example, it's like if we actually commit to executing on certain plans, whether it's product plans or any other plan, right? It will also make sure that okay, we are not just like we're not just like saying it and not taking it, right? Right? We are actually committed to a plan as well. Yeah. That's actually really important for us.
I think it's important and crazy in both ways.
Yeah. This actually, guys, this is actually really interesting. Okay. Basically, I think and so it is my strong belief, right, that the DAO voting on the crucial things, right? For example, reduction and the Jupuary and ASR, right? It's actually extremely important for alignment, right? Well, alignment is not just between team and community, and it's also between community, right? You know what I'm saying? So if the team pushes one thing to understand is very simple, right? It's like we actually had this thing. So a lot of things were decided were discussed pre-JUP, right?
Before the token launch, you mean?
Yeah, precisely, right? Yeah. But then I think what we're doing now is that we're shifting the decision back to the community. because this pool actually comes from the community pool, and not from our pool, the team pool, right? So the community should actually decide, right? What to do with it, and whether to do it or not, right? And actually, what was actually really interesting here is that I think in doing so, I think what will happen is that the community will have a really big debate, right, between each other, about.
As well they should. That's a feature, not a bug. I'd say as well they should. This is like a big thing for the future of Jupiter, and it is the community treasury.
It's like working groups, right? It's like I think the fact that the community comes together, and working and discuss, like, and come together and discuss the whether to do this or not, it's actually a really big deal, for alignment, right? Because it's not just alignment between us and the community, it's alignment between the community itself, right? So I think it's actually a really big part of PP as well, because if we don't, if that thing proceeded in a unilateral way, then actually, then I think that will actually be a very high potential for PvP to happen. Yeah.
Absolutely. To avoid a civil PvP war, we must have a civil PvP.
That is Cash's line. Okay, he loves it.
I was hoping just to sneak it in. I was hoping the chat would just love that line organically. No, but I think there's major decisions being made by the DAO. This is not like, iterating on small little parameters on the side. This is like reducing the supply of the Jupiter token by 30%, folks. That is what's on the table. Whether or not there are more Jupuaries to come where, over time, millions, if not billions of tokens will be distributed. ASR, which again, tens of millions, if not 100 million tokens, again, getting distributed to incentivize governance. These are major strategic decisions that are being placed in the community's hand. But it only works if people are actually talking about it out in the open.
Yeah, I think, and obviously we also did crypto's first ever community audit for token distribution. And again, I feel like this is actually more of the CAT thing that we did, right? Because I feel like we really want to not just do things for ourselves, but also kind of set standards. I actually truly think that every DeFi protocol or even protocol should do this. I'm not even joking. I'm serious, right?
I've been thrown.
What's that?
Yeah. I said the challenge has been thrown. Looking at you, I don't want to say any names, but yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, no, seriously, I feel like if this committee audit for condition becomes a standard, right? Then I think it will be much better, because I feel like everyone will actually have a lot more clarity about, have a lot more confidence in the project they're investing in. Because right now, for example, because right now there's actually a lot of distrust, right? It's like I'm telling you, man. You go to Twitter, you see any new token launch or any protocol, they're always saying, "Oh, investor dump, team dump, blah blah blah," right? I'm saying, right? Right? Like, I mean, okay, seriously, so do it, right? Just do the fucking audit, do the fucking audit, right? I mean, and just do the fucking audit, right? That's it.
Someone put that on a t-shirt.
Sorry, what's that?
I said someone put that on a t-shirt. Just do the fucking audit. Meow.
Yeah, do the fucking audit.
Yeah, fine.
That's it. Right? That's it. So anyway, let's go. I think E is, I think I have to show my zero boys. Right? It's like right. No, but I actually think that, okay, I'm not just kidding. I actually think that a big part of CAT is actually not give promises. Because I feel like I'm telling you, I've been hanging out in so many communities, and it's always promises, right? And then it's like, I mean, every time the promises doesn't get met, it's disillusioned and lack of trust, right? Right. So I feel like that's actually, so I think for us, I think we are big followers of the zero philosophy. Like aka like you won't see me or Sean or team members, making saying, oh, we promise A or B or C. We just do our best, right? We just do our best to design systems and put mechanisms and also build our products. Yeah. And then we experiment. Yeah. So I think that's kind of how we think about it. Yeah.
And then lastly, here we have the Cat Pact.
Yes, the Cat Pact. Okay, so I think I think as mentioned earlier, I think that so actually let me say this very slowly, because I think it's quite important. Okay, I think that the Cat Pact is something that we are committed to doing. Basically because we think that JUP is like the most important resource that we have, and we kind of want to put in like strong processes that can be repeated again and again in order to ensure the integrity of JUP. So even if I leave or anyone leave and stuff, the core philosophy of the core philosophy of the core processes to actually keep JUP the integral JUP will always be there. and we call it the boomer. We call it the boomer pack. Because it's not very degen. It's kind of boomer, okay? For example, like regular regular committee audits, right? 100% disclosure of all token sales. For example, if we sell any tokens by OTC or investors, we'll always disclose them, right? And the third thing is like, or even through market makers, we'll disclose them as well, right? And thirdly is that we always do advance notice of token release. So if we release any tokens for the reserve or strategic or purpose reasons, right? Whether it's for okay, and guys, I want to be very clear on something, right? There are we will definitely use the reserve, okay, for sure. Okay, for a number of things. Number one, for example, we'll definitely for future team members or newer team members. Secondly is for MMA purposes, and thirdly is that we might want to actually get strategic investment, right? But in any case, whatever it is, whatever we release, we'll do three things, right? Firstly is that number one, we'll make sure that we explain why this could be net positive for the ecosystem. And secondly is that we'll actually carefully manage to release to make sure that in proportion to market liquidity, to make sure there's no supply shock ever. And thirdly is obviously we'll always communicate the releases at least 3 months in advance. Basically, we want to make sure that the community and the market and the ecosystem, right? We always understand the point. You know what I'm saying? About this. Someone is saying I'm too funny. I think so too. Tell Cash. And then fourthly, it's transparency on treasury. So what we're gonna do is that we're actually gonna put in we're gonna actually label very clear. For example, the unsold tokens, right? You know what I'm saying? Unsold tokens. So we're gonna have a very clear we're gonna label them very clearly as unsold tokens. You know what I'm saying? And the strategy reserve, right? So all these things will be done after the vote gets decided, because then we'll actually commit to having extremely clear wallets and stuff, so people can know exactly what goes where. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, cool. I think that's
what transparency looks like.
Yeah, because one thing actually I find annoying is that I think there's a lot of teams that have one big chunk of things called ecosystem fund. Right?
Slush fund, yeah.
Well, and then no one knows what happens there, right? You know what I'm saying, right? I feel like it's up to them to sell it. After they sell it for whatever, that's fine. But I feel like but it's just be clear what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm saying, so I think any project can do whatever they want. But I think what I'm pushing for here in the cap pack is for projects to kind of be more transparent about what intentions, what they do. Yeah. And obviously on NSL we also have a very big allocation for community allocations, right? So any release there will actually be released distributed by a download, for full visibility. Yeah. So this is a draft pack, but we expect to formalize over the next few weeks. But ideally I think this will actually be a useful guideline not just to us but also other teams. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
I said it'd be really cool to see other teams adopt the cat pack as well.
Yeah. I don't know, right? But I think so. I think for me, I think we lead by example. I think what we do is that we will actually just officially commit to it. Right? That okay, we're gonna do A, B, C, D, and E. Yeah. Yeah. Pack. Yeah. Does it make sense? Well, actually, what do you think?
I think that the two biggest, the three craziest things to me about this, first is the certainty of kind of coming out and saying these things out in public of, hey, this is exactly where every token is. This is what we're going to do. Things like, giving advance notice of at least 3 months for any token releases, or disclosing all token sales. Those are not things you see a lot of other teams do because, hey, they might want some flexibility. They might be acting in the best interest of their community from their own perspective. But without this kind of advance notice, the community doesn't have the certainty that they're acting in their best interest, right? And so I think that it helps to reinforce that idea. On the alignment side, I keep going back to the fact that you're not taking any tokens for 2 years, which, as a friend, as we've talked about, I'm like, hey, you should probably take some tokens, but you're like, no, I want long-term alignment and that's all that I care about. And so I think that's pretty shocking and not enough people talk about it, frankly. And then on the transparency side, I really like the way in which this
it's because I think it's a lot easier to communicate nothing than 1 or 2. You know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
I'm
a purity in the approach, which I understand. I think it's powerful, and that's why people are excited about it. But it is just like so like for anyone that knows founders who have token allocations, like this is just not the way things happen. And that's I don't know, it's cool to me for sure. And then on the transparency side, I think it's like very clearly delivered by just saying like, hey, you can trace every single token to where it is going. All in all, I think that right now in the markets in particular, there's this kind of like growing sense of distrust between holders and project teams. More and more, basically every day, as more and more teams are kind of revealed to be doing, shall we call it, shenanigans in the best of cases, and much worse in the worst of cases. And I think it's very cool to see it on the other side. And what I really like about this most of all is the kind of like open commitment to doing the things that are best for the JUP community, because it goes back to that 50-50 thing, right? If the community can trust that the team is going to do it, hopefully they rise as well to that same level.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Precisely. No, I feel like that's a really important point to talk about, right? Is that like I actually think that this trust is a circular loop, you know, like recycle, right? It's like
Yeah,
if
feedback.
if there's no trust on one side, like for example, if you're in a relationship, right, girlfriend boyfriend, right, and then if the girlfriend doesn't trust the boyfriend, very soon there's no fucking way, right?
Yeah.
Girlfriend, no fucking way, right? So I feel like it's actually very, very similar. I feel like it's actually very similar, right? In some sense, right? I feel like if we don't do that's actually why we try to do a lot of things, right? To make sure the community can trust us, right? You know, right? And then and because if we do that, then I think it makes it much easier, right? You know, for the vice versa thing to happen as well.
That's right.
Right?
Trust begets trust.
For product too, right? I think we actually we fuck out a lot in product. Sorry,
we'll get to it in a second. We'll get to it in a second. Don't get to let's just get through the end of this, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, it's funny. Oh my god.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's funny. Okay, but yeah, but I feel like for users, right? I think we have a lot of issues with our purpose and some and everything. But I feel like one thing that we do is that we actually make sure that every single supporter gate is done properly, right? We take out every single fucking supporter gate, you know, right? And I think that ended up being a really, really big deal for us. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, end of the day, I want to tie it all to the either PPP and CAT, right? So what is all this CAT thing about, right? So all this CAT, right? CAT is about trust, right? It's the idea that, okay, if you give if you did commit enough certainty and everybody is aligned, right? You know, and there's enough transparency, there'll be trust, right? And here's the thing. Here's the thesis, okay? It's like if you have no trust in the community, right? PvP happens immediately, you know, right? The moment you don't trust that other people have a back, you will go against them. Done. You dump their bags, you exit, you know, or you spread rumors, or you complain, everything. Make sense, right? You know, but then if you trust, right, that other people actually, you know, is doing the right things for you, or it's in the long term game, right? Then you can PPP. You know, where we actually actively try to help, you know, right? Something like something for me, right? Like I think I really trust the Jupiter community. I do. I really, really do, right? I hope you see that. And that's why I actually do try to do a lot, you know, to try to kind of win, right? You know, and I feel like that's actually kind of how things work. I feel like and vice versa, you know. And so I think and end of the day, I think the main thing is like around like I think I have a very sincere goal, right? I feel like it'd be great if, like, you know, it'd be amazing if Jupiter becomes like the most like PPP community around, because yeah, because like that makes me really happy, because I think I think it's actually much more fun to do together, you know. Yeah,
I think so too. And if you agree right now, drop a little PPP in the chat for us. This was indeed.
Lastly, I would say that, like, you know, I didn't come with the cat deliberately. Okay, it's not a thing. Okay, I didn't went like CAT. I didn't, right? No, I actually went like hey, certainty, hey, alignment, hey, transparency, hey, cat.
I don't believe you. It's too good, honestly. I don't believe you, but
I swear to God, I was like, hey, cat, meow.
It all comes back to cats at the end of the day. Well, folks, I know that there's going to be, this was a little bit of a longer section, but I think pretty critical to understand kind of like the JUP mindset, and particularly going into the vote that is going to happen tomorrow. Correct, Meow?
Yes. So that
is happening tomorrow?
I'm writing a proposal tomorrow. No, okay. Can Can do a slides? Can you do a slides again? Let's do a slides again. The slides.
Yes. Let's go back to the slides. 1 second. Boop, boop, boop. So that was
All
JUP,
right.
cat, and PPP. Yep. And here we go.
All right, yay! So tomorrow there will be a token reduction proposal for tomorrow. Let's go.
30% of the token supply on the table to be eliminated if the community decides to.
Yep, and I'll start writing a proposal right afterwards. I mean, that actually took a lot of me, man. Holy shit! But yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, I have anyway. But can you the next one? Can you do the next slide? The next slide.
Yep.
So actually, the thing is the shit. But there are three parts to it, right? There's there's essay, the committee audit, and also the proposal, right?
Oh, okay.
The proposal. So these three things actually work together, okay? Because if we didn't do the committee audit, we can't do the proposal, right? Because we wouldn't be able to kind of accurately describe what goes on, how to what will happen, in the thing, right? And then similarly, I feel like if we don't have the essay, we won't actually think about like what the whole thing is for, So I think to me, I think this whole week is about these three key things, right? Like, like articulating the JUP ethos, secondly doing the audit, and lastly the proposal, right? So it's like one kind of package deal, Does that make sense? Yeah,
it does. Shout out to Srijani on the ninja edit there, fixing it while it's live. That was pretty good. So this is the trifecta of this week, folks. Stay tuned tomorrow when that proposal goes live, and the voting will go live tomorrow as well, right?
Yeah, tomorrow as well. Let's go. Yep, let's go.
Let's fucking go, folks. 30%. This is a big deal. A lot of trust being placed in the community to have an honest conversation. Here's my only thing that I want to say heading into this vote. In the past, some of the votes have been a little contentious. That's fine. That's a feature, not a bug. Communities should not have consensus, but they must be kind of like respectful as they're talking about it. So there's certainly going to be multiple sides, different opinions. The hope is that we can have some good faith arguments as usual.
Extremely good post in the JUP research forum, by the way. Talking about pros and cons, like really JUP, like really good research work for posting. So I think we should everyone should go take a look at that. Yeah, and I think we will link to those things as well. And there'll be the voting as usually over 3 days. So we'll do a vote over 3 days and stuff. And then there'll be a lot of this. The vote is on the DAO side.
Will be on vote.jup.ab.
Yeah, so there'll be we'll also bring number of Twitter spaces to talk about it as well. So I'll be around. Yep. Yep.
Excellent. Let's fucking go. It's here.
So one last thing is that this token vote is can go back one slide. Sorry. Yep. Okay, so let me just do my favorite thing again. Okay, one last thing, guys. This token reduction vote is not for the token price. It's not. Okay, it's for us to go through the tokens allocation. Think about the current state right now. A chance for the team to explain to you our plans. A chance for the community to think about how they want to use their allocation. Right. Right. And then to vote accordingly. That is the point. Okay, to really elevate us from a community that I would say maybe had a 10% understanding of the tokenomics to a community that has the best understanding of tokenomics of any community. Cool? Let's do that. So that's the point. Not for token price. Okay? It is for the community to all come together and understand how and why the tokenomics are there for the reason they're there. Yep.
All of that's going to be covered in the proposal that I'm sure Mia's going to be writing right now, and I'm sure we'll be a frantic 24 hours to make that happen. If anyone here has not written something with Meow before, he likes to do handstand push-ups while he writes in order to clear his head. So I'm assuming there's going to be like 20 to 30 handstand push-ups happening later tonight, which is going to be pretty good. Okay, cool. I think that is it for now, folks. Stay tuned. Go check out the research forum post for some more details. Hang out in the Discord. I'm sure that everyone's going to be talking about it in there. And then make sure to stay tuned on Twitter as well. Everybody in this community who's watching this call right now, you have a say on the future of JUP, the token, and JUP, the community. We love to see it. We love to see it. Okay, stream the push-ups. Oh, yeah. As a quick side note, by the way, you still owe me 1,000 push-ups.
I did. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now you see that meow very chatty, but when you bring up the fact that he owes you 1,000 push-up, it gets kind of quiet. Interesting.
I'll do it, man. I'll fucking do it. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it. Anyway, all right, let's go on to our next guest here. Let me pull this up. So every once in a while, we like to bring on some ecosystem legends to kind of share their perspectives, their ideas, what's going on in the markets and in crypto broadly. And today I am very excited to have professional boxer indeed. I don't know how he knew we were going to use this photo. Ansem is here on the call, folks. And as I bring him on stage, this is just my personal opinion. I don't speak for anyone but myself, but I will say I've watched Ansem's growth from, I don't know, a few thousand Twitter followers to like the main character on Twitter. It's not an easy position to be in, but I've seen him time and time again act in good faith ways that help promote the ecosystem. And I know that there's some controversy, whatever else. From my perspective, I'm really excited to have him on this call because I think he's got the best interest of Solana at heart. Please drop a little JM in the chat for our guy, Ansem.
Ansem, let's go.
Yo.
Hey, Cash, we get 3 cameras. Yeah.
What's good?
There we
What's
go.
good, bro? What's good? Let's go.
How
Let's
we
go.
doing? How we doing, bro?
How we
These calls
going?
are
Exhausted,
sick, bro.
as
Calls are
always.
sick.
It's the only way. Is the only way to say it. So where should we start here, Meow?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think just some context is that I met, as mentioned earlier, I had a really fun time hanging out with Ansem. Hey, bro, that was fun, bro. That was fun.
Nah, that was
fun,
sick. That was a good link up. It was random.
Yeah, that was fun. But guys, I was in New York for only 12 hours, okay? I literally flew in for 40 minutes. I hang out with a bunch of friends. I met Ansem, hang out, had a great time. So I was like, hey, come to the call, right? And talk to the community, right? Things like that. I think so. I think I'm really just really happy to have you on the call. I think for a lot of community members, it's probably the first time seeing you. Yeah. So Ansem, so how has life been? I mean, I think because life, bro. I've been seeing what's happening. And I was like, bro, why do you even get this?
Bro, this those death threats been, by the way. You've been enjoying those death threats?
Yeah, they're crazy. People, I swear, are crazy on Twitter, dude. This past year has been super wild for me. Yeah, like you said, Cash, I was at 3K followers in 2020. And I started trading crypto in 2017. I was just posting charts or whatever. Nobody really cared until last cycle. And last cycle, I was posting all my trades. I posted Bitcoin trade for 10K to 40K. Solana, I bought it $1.50. Luna, AVAX, Jewel. I hit a ton of the trades last cycle, pretty publicly. And I was just posting my ideas and journaling. But then people kept seeing me hit on trades, and I kept getting more followers. And I ended up going up only towards the end of that. And I was at 100K, I think, into 2021. Last cycle, I didn't have people mad at me until Jewel went down. so because I didn't really miss all that much on the perps trades. I hit a lot of them, and then I called market top. I would full cash for everything but Jewel, and then Jewel went from $1 to $20 in Q4 2021, while the whole market was going down, and you could get 1,000 plus APR on the inflation because you were getting rewards for staking in the LPs. But then obviously Jewel went down from 20 back to 1, back to way lower, and then everybody's like, yo, Answer's a scammer, he showed this pump and dump, I'm like, bros, it went from I bought it under 5 mil market cap, it went to over $1 billion, and then it ended up coming back down. But that's what people remember from that cycle, because what happens when you're right a lot consecutively, people just tail your trade super hard, and then when you're eventually wrong, because traders are wrong at some point, it's just they're full shoving into your last idea, and then that's the last thing people remember.
They kind of martingale in the wrong way.
Yeah. And then this cycle's even fucking crazier. I went from 100K to almost 500K now. It was kind of the same thing. I called Solana last year, a few other trades like Pepe, Unibot,
Coinbase.
Bonk. Yeah, Coinbase was a big one for me. And then but then it's same thing. It's you hit on a few trades, you do really well, people make money, and then it's you miss on a few trades, and it's yo, this guy's a scammer. So that's where I'm at now in the arc.
So in this whole arc, how many tokens have you launched?
None. I've never launched a token. I've never launched a
Interesting to
token.
hear.
But
Interesting to hear.
you launched a really great product, right? Called Bullpen, right? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I'm working on bullpen now. I think like when you get kind of a big audience on crypto Twitter, there's a few different paths you can take. You can either go the paid shill route, where it's like you get tokens from all these projects. You obviously have impact on markets when you tweet about them, and then you have like free supply, so you can just sell it. That's one of the ways. That's like the scammiest way, I think. Then the second way is you can build something, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm building bullpen the same way that I was building JUP. And you try and add value back to the ecosystem. Because for me, I've always just been trading in crypto. I used to be a developer, used to be a software engineer, but I've never built anything in crypto. So all the money that I make is literally from taking other people's money in the market. That's just how trading works. It's like some people take the same trades as me and they also make money, but trading's kind of zero sum in that way. So it's like, okay, I want to build something, a product that people can actually use, something that I would use in crypto, and try and like give value to people also who aren't in this space to try and learn about crypto. So bullpen is kind of similar to BonkBot. It also has an AI component to it where we scrape a lot of relevant Telegram chats, give people a news feed of all the most relevant information that traders are talking about. And yet same thing, you can buy all long tail altcoins. It lives in Telegram. Then we're adding more like social features and stuff soon to that. So that's what I'm working on now. And then also like the angel investing and stuff like that.
So we had this really fun conversation, right? We were like going like, okay, bull pen and bull X, right? So
I know.
So we had just clarify for everyone, right? Like the difference in bull pen and bull X, you know?
Yeah, so bro, so we had the name bullpen like before them, but we didn't launch like our beta before they launched their like whatever first iteration of it. So they came in after us, but Bull X has done well like the past couple months with getting users. And yeah, people are like Bull X, Bullpen, like which one is it? So yeah, I'm not Bull X, I'm Bullpen.
Yeah, that's a good clarification.
Yeah.
And Ansem, I wanted to get your take on the recent thing, on the whole recent who is the best dog coin, which is the correct Nero incident.
Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Yeah.
From you, like what was your mental? Like I saw that I saw that there were quite a fair bit of like anger around table. Right.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just chat with you, see how you're feeling about it, like in your opinion, what went on and things like that,
Yeah, I'm honestly just dumb, bro. I shouldn't even have joined the spaces. I was like, so I was at the beach.
Were you drunk or something?
Wait.
Literally, I'll tell you what happened. So I'm in Barbados. I'm like at the beach. I'm
in Barbados. I remember.
Yeah. I'm with the kids. I'm in the ocean, and just like, like for multiple hours. Yeah, and I get out of the ocean, and we're like leaving the beach that we're at. I've been drinking, and I check Twitter. And I'm like reading the timeline and I see all this shit about Nero. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I like tweet like what I missed. And my comment section is like, like this Nero, whatever. So I'm like, okay, which is the right one? Somebody DMs me and it's like, yo, Z, it's this one. This one has like 70 mil market cap. But like, this is the biggest one. People are in it. I'm like, cool. I post it. So I posted. I'm like, yo, I think this is what people were talking about. Nero is like the same dog owner who had Doge, the Cabuso dog, bought a new dog, adopted it, and his name's Nero.
Yeah.
So they tweeted, the tweet happened, and obviously as soon as she tweeted that, there were multiple pump funds that dropped. And I quote tweeted that tweet and was like, yo, this is what I think everybody's talking about. I linked to the bird eye with the bigger one. And I'm like, all right, cool. So then when I tweet that, everybody's like, no, Z, like, why are you showing a scam? Like, this one's a scam. This is like the people did this, the people did that, like those bundle snipe, all this other stuff. And they're like, you need to join this spaces so you can see which is the right one. So my dumbass joins the spaces of the other Nero. I hop in the spaces, and the people on the space are like, yeah, the other one's a scam. The like dev already made 2 million. Like they hold this much of the supply. It wasn't even a pump fund. Like all this other stuff. Some of it was true. Some of it was not true. But when I joined the spaces, a ton of people joined the space, and everybody who was trading these two coins are like listening to these people talk. And while they're listening to them talk, they're like, start selling the bigger one and start buying the smaller one. So the bigger one went from like 90 mil to like 9 mil. And then the smaller one went from like 5 mil to like 30 mil or whatever. So they like flipped each other. Meanwhile, while I'm on the call, I'm like, bros, just buy both. I don't know which one it is. Like, I don't want to support one of them because I know if I support one of them, people are going to call me a scammer. Like, there's no way I pick one of them and the other group is not going to be mad at me. There's literally zero way. So I'm like, no way. So I'm like, just buy both of them. They're like, no, Z endorse this one. I'm like, no, just wait. And so you'll see the market is going to pick one. Just wait and buy both. So meanwhile, I'm just drinking this whole time. Just like, on my phone, just like drinking. And then I hop off the spaces and I start reading the timeline. Everybody's like, "Fuck Ansem! Like Ansem's the worst! Like kill Ansem! Like da 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 da." Yeah. And then eventually I joined the other team made a Twitter, and I joined their spaces. And then they essentially told me like the first team was long. Fuck it, it's crazy. And then now that one went back up. But yeah.
My favorite part of the story, though, is at the end of this, I caught a little bit of this drama on Twitter, and then I jumped onto Twitter to see again, and I just saw Ansem hosting a space called "Please Stop Yelling." That
was like 3 a.m. and that was really fucked up at that point. That was like 3 a.m. Like, yo, please, like, I don't want nothing to do with this. Oh my god!
So I think that like the key takeaway for this story. Go ahead.
I just find it funny because me and Ansem talked at length about this. Right, we spent about. I'll tell you guys what went down. Okay, me and Ansem, because as you guys know, I was target for a lot of CT FUD as well, right? And the thing is, right, for previously, and then like and so we talked at length about like the whole the whole incident, right, of how it felt to be the target, right, of that. Yeah, but anyway, I feel like I feel like Ansem will be immune by now, right? but
yeah, that's what I thought too, bro. And somehow shit just like keeps happening. Oh,
what exactly do you say to make people feel that way? To make people feel like you endorse one or the other? Like, do you remember?
I didn't say it. I didn't say anything. I literally word for word said buy both. I'm not endorsing either of them. Word for word, that's what I said. Like you go listen to the spaces. I didn't say anything, but people were like, "No, Z, if you're in the space of the smaller one's gonna go up." And I'm like, why does how other people interpret what I'm doing instead of what I'm saying mean more in that way? But yeah, it's like crazy.
Wow. So you didn't. I know. This is pretty important for me. I just don't understand. So you didn't actually say one is the other.
No.
Wow.
You just joined the space.
No, bro. I just joined the spaces.
You just joined the wrong spaces.
That's literally all I did. I just joined the spaces and I listened to them talk.
Wow. Like judging from
what the timeline, right? Judging from the timeline, right?
Timeline, you strangled the dog yourself with your own hands. Is like what people think.
I thought you went on IG, held a big banner to say buy this thing now.
No, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's so crazy now because like I have so many followers that there's a lot of people who are new, like don't know anything about what I was trading before. So those people are like very easily impressionable with what other people say about my account. They're like, oh, if somebody calls Ansem a scammer, Ansem must be a scammer because I just lost money on the token he talked about last week. So like, okay, he's a scammer. And it's like you have all these new people. And then you also have a ton of people who didn't take the trades that I took and they're waiting on something that like I do wrong and me to fuck up. So they're incentivized to like lie and say whatever else about me because one, it gets engagement on Twitter. So they literally make money off of it. And then two, it's like if they can point out that I'm wrong, then people listen to what they say more because, oh, I'm going to listen to this guy instead of listening to Ansem. It's very complicated. I didn't really understand much of how this shit operates until it started happening. I'm like, wait, you guys really think I'm scamming you? Like, why do you think that? But it's crazy.
It just feels to me like there's so many easier ways to scam. Like the people who are thinking that you're scamming in this particular way, it's very, very
like what?
So I guess you talked a little bit about this whole thing is like a surreal situation, and I guess like you and Meow both have it. I thankfully do not, and I'm very grateful for that. But on the actual trading side, I mean, like you went through a bunch of the trades that you've kind of done. Obviously, you've had a bunch of success in this market. I'm curious how you think about like edge and how much kind of like community evaluation factors into the way that you think about which tokens to buy and like which communities to jump into. Like, what do you look for before you actually jump into a token?
Yeah, I'd say the Solana trade I took last year is a pretty good example because it was comprised like a few different layers to the trade. So for me, I knew the Solana community pretty well because obviously I was in it since early 2021, and I saw like the ups and downs, like before there was any dexes, any NFT stuff, anything on Solana. Was when it was just like an idea that an L1 that's faster and cheaper than ETH could do well. And then like the ecosystem evolved, there was teams building on Solana, and like throughout 2021, the ecosystem matured a ton. But I saw the issues that Solana had during peak in 2021 when there was like congestion. They didn't have any way to handle like people spamming the market. They didn't have any fee markets. And the way that like the network was handling congestion was like really poor. So in 2022, I tracked all the tech updates that happened to Solana. So I was very familiar with all those. Still knew like all the founders that were building on Sol. And then in Breakpoint 2022, like towards the end of the year, I went there and I like spoke to a lot of founders, a lot of people in the ecosystem, and they didn't care the price was down like 80% or whatever it was at the time. They're really excited about Solana. So from a core community perspective, I knew that Solana had a really strong community. I also knew on the tech side that Solana had fixed a lot of the issues that it had in 2021, and people just hadn't seen it yet. And then the third thing was like, I knew there were a lot of teams on Solana that hadn't dropped tokens yet. And I was like, well, I knew what happened when Ethereum and Uniswap and all those early DeFi protocols ended up launching tokens. There was a huge wealth effect for Ethereum. I'm going to bet the same thing's going to happen for Solana. But the biggest thing for me was that the perspective of people outside of the Solana ecosystem was that Solana was dead forever. But then if you were close to people in the ecosystem, it had a really strong community, and there was a misunderstanding of the actual tech of Solana. So the best trades for me is like when the community sentiment doesn't align with the actual like fundamentals of a project. Those are always the best trades, because when people realize they're wrong, they're like really poorly positioned. And then it's like, it's easy for them to understand a thesis because the thesis has been the same the whole time. So I think that applies to like a lot of different products in crypto. If you do the research on your own and see the fundamental mismatch, and then there's a lack of attention, when the attention goes from 0 to 100, that's when you see like the 100x trades.
You know what? That reminds me of something, right? I feel like, I mean, it's unrelated, but you kind of saw the potential in WIF, right? It's like, I mean, like it's funny because the foundation of Solana is ecosystem, right? But the foundation for WIF is the kind of the very viral and funny hat, right? You know, so in both cases they are both fundamentals, right? And you kind of saw and you kind of took just like how you saw the fundamentals for Solana, you kind of saw the fundamentals for the WIF as well, right?
Yeah,
is that right?
I mean, yeah, the fundamentals for meme coins are slightly different. I honestly do kind of have a framework for it. It's like, what is it? 3 things I said.
Wow, it's a
really,
framework for
memes. Yeah. It's like, what is the one thing? So the main thing is like how relatable it is to people. So you think of some person knows nothing about crypto, zero idea what crypto is, doesn't know what L1 is, doesn't know what DeFi is, doesn't know what L2 is, no idea, can't speak about any other thing in depth. You give them a picture of a dog with a hat, they understand what a dog is, they understand a dog with a hat. That's easy for them to understand. So it's relatable to 100% of people in the world. Everybody loves dogs, whatever. Easily relatable. So you give it a score, 10 out of 10 on relatability score. Second thing is like the virality aspect of it. So for anything for memes to do really well, you need a way for them to go viral outside of a small group of people. And it's like, that's either from some event that's happening in real life that people connected to, it's like people talking about it on socials, or it's like way it spreads to your friends and all of that stuff. So for WIF, it was really easy for it to go viral because the meme is easily replicable for anybody. Like you can add a hat to anything. The slogan "hat stays on" is applicable to literally anything that you want to add it to. So you can add a hat to all these other pictures, and people almost always quickly make that relationship between WIF and whatever else. And also, it's like you can put different hats on the dog. So it's like Coinbase, Robinhood, all these other protocols. That's why you saw like all these different protocols in crypto align with WIF so easily, because they could use them as marketing for their own protocols, and it'd still be like a WIF attachment type thing. So that's the second thing, like the virality. And then The third thing is kind of the most, I would say, one of the most important parts of it is like the distribution aspect. So if you have a meme that has 70% of the supply controlled by one person, it's very unlikely that meme is ever going to do well, because once it goes to a million market cap, that person has 700K. For most people, 700K is a lot of money. So it's like you can't really go all that high if the distribution is one person. Whereas the opposite thing is, if you have a very wide distribution of people and you have a ton of people in the coin that don't have large positions in it, you have a lot of people that are incentivized to talk about it more because they want their bags to go up. But then it's also like you don't have the issue where a lot of like one person holds a large percentage of the supply and then they're kind of capping your upside because they can keep selling into you. So yeah, it's my
relatability, virality, and kind of distribution have all come together here.
Yeah, so memes do fundamentals, but it's kind of different.
Is there anything that people don't know about like being in the meme coin trenches? Like I think people are maybe starting to get familiar with like community takeovers and so on. Are there any like funny things that you've seen in the meme coin world that non-meme coin traders might not know about yet?
Man, there's a ton of stuff. I mean, for me now it's crazy because almost everything I tweet or talk about ends up on Pump Fun. It's like literally anything I say just like ends up on Pump Fun. Because the one thing with meme coins is like anything can become a meme coin. There's a ton of memes on the internet everywhere that aren't meme coins yet. That's why I think it's gonna have stickiness as a sector, because there's infinite amount of things that you can turn into a coin. So I think a lot of people don't think about it in that way. They're like, oh, well, this coin went up 1,000x. It's always going to come back down. I'm like, yeah, it is eventually going to come back down. But even if it does come back down, there's so many hundreds of thousands of other memes that exist that you can turn into a coin and people are going to talk about and buy. Like with Nero, when Nero dropped, it was like, oh, this is a new thing. And it went, whatever, it's like 90 million in a day. But yeah, I don't think people are kind of like have made that connection yet between other social medias and how they're going to turn into coins in crypto. Like if you were to try and argue with somebody that memes on the internet were going to go away, they would call you an idiot. But when you say meme coins aren't going to have lasting power, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So it's I don't think people have made those two connections yet.
Yeah, I mean, I totally think so. I think meme coins are totally going to be here. It's like so there's this idea called financialization, right? So basically everything in the world gets financialized.
Yeah.
Right. You know, like way back in human history, there wasn't money, right? Then you got things that ISIS got financialized, IP got financialized, you know, stocks got financialized, company got financialized, and memes, meme coins are just financialized your ideas, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, I seriously like, no one owns the idea, right? That's a key thing, right? I think if there's one thing that meme coins teaches us, right? It's like no one owns an idea, right? You know, the market owns the idea, right? You know, seriously. I mean, someone can launch an Ansem coin, right? You know, and
they have so many of them. Oh my god!
No. At one point in time, one of them might get traction, right? And then Jupiter might be forced to be like verified.
yeah.
Right. Then you have like gatekeepers, right? In some sense, like, you know, like the verification gatekeepers like Binance or whatever, not like even Jupiter, right? Who are like, okay, you have to acknowledge it, right? So it's like it's almost like no one owns an idea, but ideas can get traction, right? And then now it's real though. It's like in the past it's just memes in the form of views and everything, right? But now it becomes solid, you know, right? It becomes that there's a real economic value to the idea, right? And it's a very clear economic value too, you know. Yeah, that you don't know and stuff. Yeah, it's amazing. Hey, Ansem, I got a question for you. So there was a comment earlier because I struggled this too, right? There was a comment earlier that says that like you know, you have a lot of influence, bro. Everything you do matters, bro. Yeah. You know, you lose your money, bro. You better stop saying shit, bro. No more drinking, bro. So, bro, I'm telling you, I struggle with someone too, right? Because for me, I'm like, okay, sometimes I see a cool idea or cool meme or cool project. I just want to be like, hey, good stuff, bro. I just do that, right? But I can't do that.
Yeah.
Right. You know, so I'm just wondering how you think about that, you know? Yeah.
No, I'm getting used to that. Like, I mean, I don't do it as much now, like commenting on everything. But it's definitely accurate. It's like I learned that with the celeb stuff, bro. Like a lot of people think I was launching these celeb coins because I was like replying to them on Twitter. They think it was like all planned, organized, like, oh, they're gonna tweet Ansem, the Ansem's gonna tweet back, and they're gonna launch a coin. But that's not what was happening. It was just like people were following me. I'm like, oh, cool, this person followed me. I like screenshot it or like reply back to them. And then next week they're like launching a coin, and it like is a pump and dump, obviously, because somebody's behind the scenes is like literally just telling them to let them launch it and then sell into everything by owning a large percent of the supply at launch. But I didn't have anything to do with it. Like, I'm not getting paid for it. I don't own any of the coins. Like, none of that is on me. But by replying to them on Twitter and on X, everybody who was following me saw it. Like, I've 400,000 people follow me, and they're like, "Oh, Ansem's talking to this person. That means he's supporting this coin. So if they launch a coin, I think it's going to go up, like the other stuff we talked about that went up." And there's a lot of people that just kept doing that. And all these celebs were like, "We know Ansem's the guy we need to tag because he's one of the biggest people in Solana with some other people." So every single one of the celebrities that was trying to launch a coin would tag me. And eventually I just stopped replying to them because like I figured out, like, obviously they're just trying to rug people. But even at that point, it was too late because I'd already been like, yeah, I think celeb coins make sense. Like, I think social tokens make sense generally. And I said that multiple times. And then not all, but like 80-90% of the ones who tried to launch coins, they ended up rugging people. And so then everybody's like, yeah, Ansem's rugging people on these celeb coins, which wasn't true, but it's from their purview. That's what it looked like. So no, it's definitely accurate. Like, I have to be super careful with what I even, like, who I follow back, what I tweet, like what spaces I join, like what I say. I have to be super careful with this account now because a lot of people just take whatever I'm close to or like tangentially related to as an endorsement. It even happens to me in real life now. Like, people who I've met up with and like hung out with a few times in real life, they'll use that as like, "Yo, Ansem's my friend." And then people are like, "Oh, you know Ansem," and then they'll use that to get like advantage from people too. So it happens to me in real life as well. But it's completely new to me. Like, bro, I didn't expect any of this shit to happen, like, or know how to deal with any of it. Like, it's very random.
Celebrity, 4 syllables. Repeat after me. Celebrity.
Hey, with great clout comes great responsibility.
I'm realizing, bro. I'm realizing.
Happy, bro. Come on, be happy with it. Celebrity. I'm sorry, you're a celebrity now.
It's facts. It's facts, bro.
It's facts.
It's facts.
Oh, so
do you have an alt?
Oh my god.
The only alt I have a Consent, which is like my trading journal. It's a CONZIMP, but that's like where I was journaling all my trades last cycle, 2020, 2021. I literally every week would post all my trades, and I only had like 100 followers on that account. And then my main account got banned. I was like drunk one day. I was cursing somebody out, and I got banned.
I'm noticing a theme here, Ansem.
Yeah. It's pretty common. It's like when I get in trouble, it's like I'm just fucking around on Twitter drinking, which was cool when I had 1,000 followers, but now it's not when I have 400,000 followers.
But can I say something though? I really don't want you to change. You know, right? I feel like. I don't know, I feel like there's something so great about, keeping the essence of like, like just a guy that goes on spaces and talks.
Yeah, I know, bro. That's how my account got so big in the first place. I think is because I was like, I wasn't only talking about coins. I also was going out and doing whatever else, like tweeting about other random shit I'm doing. Like, I tweet about sports, I tweet about football, everything else. I mean, I used to post my kids a lot more when I had less followers and people weren't crazy. So I would do that too. And like a lot of people kind of related to my account because I wasn't just like an anon cat or whatever, a dog or whatever, and like hiding everything. I was literally just like posting what I was trading, posting what I was doing and all that. But honestly, I don't know. I mean, I obviously too want to tweet the same way I tweeted when I had 1,000 followers, but I don't know how to do it without like impacting people negatively. Like the celeb stuff, I can't like talk to them on the timeline because it's like a risk they're gonna launch a coin. I don't want to deal with that. But like generally all the other stuff I think I can do is just like less market stuff, honestly. Like the market stuff I talk about, the trade stuff has to be longer form posts. That's what I realized. Like it has to be super detailed, like super detailed. Like, yo, I'm buying this here, but if this happens, I'm selling this, and these are my targets, and these are my positions, and I might buy this, might sell this, this might change, I think about this in this way. If I'm wrong, it's gonna look like this. Like all that stuff I have to kind of do, because if I'm just like, I'm buying this token, and then I eventually sell the token, and it goes down. And they're like, "When did you sell the token?" And I'm like, "I don't know when I sold the like, you know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff, you kind of have to be a lot more transparent with if you're going to share the trades, or you just don't share them at all. Like there's a lot of trades that I take and I don't share because I either don't have super high conviction in them, or I just don't want to deal with having to update people. I'm like, oh, I sold like X% of this day. It's just because it's you have to.
Yeah. Okay, so before we roll things off, right? I just want to ask something. Who is the real Nero?
Bro, why are you asking me this, man? I don't fucking know. I think the one.
You know I did, bro. I did, bro. You know we did Jupiter. You know what Jupiter did. The moment I saw that shit go down, I messaged everyone. I'm like, guys, whitelist both right now. I'm not even kidding. I literally, I'm not kidding. I'm like, both right now. Drop what you're doing, both right now.
Both, yeah, facts, bro.
Both right now, right? And I tweeted, hey guys, which one is the real Christianity? You know?
Legit. I swear this shit is like a reality TV show, bro. It's cool comedy.
Yeah, and anyway, what we want to do is that we need to take whatever you just shared and put it into a nice clip. Okay, cool, and we tweet that shit.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm down.
How about that? We do that, okay?
Make it happen.
And I think it will be a very fair way to tell the story, you know, in a way that hopefully more people understand what went down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think that'll be fair, you know, and we'll go from there. Yeah, how does it sound?
Sound good to me. Sound good to me, man.
All right, sounds good to me. All right.
All right.
Cool.
All right.
Ansem,
man, thanks so much for coming on.
Hey, bro, it's so fun having you, man. It's so fun having you. Thanks for showing up, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, we gotta do this more. I'm down. I'm with it.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, so fun, right?
Oh, yeah, that was a good time. That was a good time. I like Ansem. All right, folks, we are now at past the 90-minute mark, so we can start to wrap it up. I know I saw some people in the chat falling asleep, but they need the POAP. They desperately want the POAP. They can't live without this little beautiful creation, the Michael Jordan POAP special edition over here. So, folks, you can click the link. The Jupiter Exchange is dropped in the chat. You can scan this QR code, and you can get this POAP for yourself, folks. Same for me, no POAP last week. Get this one here. You stuck around till the end. Enjoy it. Your wallet will look prettier as a result. Meow, do you have any of the POAPs?
I don't. I have two. Yeah, I have two.
You have two? Okay, I have 0 of them. Love Ansem, my fave homie. It's just like a normal dude. That's I think what's cool about him.
Wait, I mean, he's a mess, dude. He's a mess sometimes, okay, but so am I. I mean, like the reason why I join with him, a lot of people scold me for it. But the reason why I match with him is because I fuck up a lot too, bro. And saying, all right, you know, right?
So it goes. This is a fun industry. It's what keeps it interesting as well. But folks, thanks for all the patience. I pick up a lot too. He fixed up so much that he can't even spell the word fuck properly. This is I don't know if that's an intentional joke or not, but that's very funny to me. Anyway. All right, folks, as far as this call goes, we're going to start to wrap it up. We went through a bunch of different wins on the product side, heard about Jupiter's spot, learned about the transparency reward, the community audit. Meow went deep on the CAT principles that are underlying the 3 critical votes that are coming up from DAO. We got to hear from Ansem. Make sure to read the full proposal tomorrow on the Jupiter supply reduction. Make up your mind, get onto some Twitter spaces, get into Discord, have the conversation, make your opinion heard respectfully, please. And of course, vote. You'll have 3 or 4 days to vote going forward. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming out. Meow, any last words before we jump here?
No, nothing. I think the proposal will be coming up tomorrow. We'll probably do some spaces or live stream with the regard to go through it. You know, go from there. Yep. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Please do like this video, subscribe.
One thing. Hey, Cash, can you zoom out a bit? Just 2 of us, talk for a while, just like 1 minute. It's important, okay? This space is very fast to call people scammers and ruggers and everything, okay? And I totally understand the sentiment and feeling because we do work in the space that have a lot of those, right? You know, right? And so I just want to, and I'm actually not vouching for anyone. Or I'm not. I don't know a lot of details, so I can't vouch for anybody, right? But what I would say is I think we should all be kind. You know what I'm saying? And then like and really try to understand what happened, before before, because the internet can get pretty rough sometimes, So I'm just saying be kind. That's all. Yeah. And if you do research and they are scammers, fuck them. I mean, but but
kindness
but
first is the thing. That's what we lead with. That's the idea. Excellent. I think that's a lovely message to end on. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining. Go like this video on YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow Jup now on Twitter and all the other good stuff. We'll see you tomorrow on Twitter, in Discord, and everywhere else to talk about this big proposal on the board. Thank you all very much. You don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here. Good